Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Today is Friday. It is the second day of July. Today I'm actually going to Google this so I can tell you what it means. National Anisette Day.
Anisette?
Yeah, and it's the only thing listed on the calendar today from our friends at National Day Calendar. Recognize a liqueur derived from aniseed on National Anisette Day. And I don't even know for sure if I'm saying any of it. It's the same thing that where you get anise.
Anise,
like the
yeah.
stuff you like.
Yep.
So you would probably like this stuff.
I'm sure I would.
So, yeah, it's a day to celebrate that. In addition to that, like I said, nothing else on the calendar, but I do have a guest. I have best-selling author Stephendavis joining me. He's got a bunch of different rock biographies and other awesome books. He's got a new one out. It's about the band Duran Duran. It's called Please, Please Tell Me Now. Going to chat with him all about this book and much more coming up.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A new survey finds that nearly half of Americans credit many of their successes in life to playing video games.
No way.
59% of people surveyed say video games have improved their hand-eye coordination, while another 50% said it helped them learn time management skills.
Uh-huh.
So there you go. You know what? Hey, if you feel like they're helping, that's good. A new study says bluffing your way through a conversation is a sign of intelligence. Heidi is a genius. One of my favorite things is for her, we'll go somewhere and somebody will come up that knows Heidi, and Heidi knows them, but she doesn't know how she knows them. And it's so fun.
All the time.
To just watch her bluff her way
all
through.
The time.
Like, hey, how are you doing? And she's trying to figure it out, and I just stand there the whole time and smile.
Awful.
And then I try to throw some clues her way, that's fun. Anyway, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. A man facing felony charges for allegedly kicking an officer during an arrest. 27-year-old Justin Matthew Espinoza. Misdemeanor charges for driving under the influence and resisting arrest. But he was driving, and when he got pulled over, he turned too wide. That's why he got pulled over. He turned and bounced up and all the stuff. And his headlights were not on. And, the list goes on of things he was doing wrong because, well, he was drunk as a skunk.
Right.
He opened his wallet, removed his credit card before putting it back and closing his wallet. He was trying to find his license. Couldn't find his insurance card. He had glossy eyes and bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, struggled to balance. When they finally got him out of the vehicle, then he wanted to fight the officer. So he was booked for driving under the influence, resisting arrest, and felony battery of an officer. Mm-hmm. Bad night right there. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Khloe Kardashian has told her fans that she's not doing anything for her 37th birthday. So I'm not sure if that's like, so would you guys please throw me a party? Or if it was just kind of a...
I have no plans. It's unfortunate.
I don't know. Comedian John Mulaney, he's a funny guy, and Olivia Munn were seen laughing it up at a lunch date in Los Angeles.
That's nice.
End of story. Can you even imagine? John and Heidi were seen...
And they were laughing.
Seems as though John had the all-you-could-eat buffet. And Michael Strahan's ex-wife, Jean Strahan, was arrested on Friday for harassing her ex-girlfriend and violating an order of protection. So,
Yikes.
not exactly sure what all was going on there, but it sounds like quite a day. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by channelsurfertv.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of PureCanna.com, promo code radio. A man jumped out of a moving plane at LAX. Yeah, Friday night. He attempted to breach the cockpit first, then he jumped out of the airplane. When I say a moving plane, in my mind, I'm thinking like flying through the sky. They were still on the tarmac, thank goodness. Otherwise, that would have ended a lot differently. San Francisco's biggest homeless encampment is costing taxpayers $60,000 per tent. So they're saying,
What?
Yeah, I don't exactly know what's going on there, but they're saying maybe they
What
should.
on earth?
I don't know. Let's see. Unemployment rolls are shrinking faster in states that have axed the federally boosted payments as the economic carnage from the COVID-19 pandemic eases. So, got a link to the story if you want to read all those details. Interesting story here, and I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to tell you a comment that I read online that I thought was really funny, but it's probably mean, so I'm going to warn you ahead of time. But Portland, Oregon has experienced an unprecedented heat wave, temperatures reaching 112 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yikes.
Yeah, does not sound like a fun thing.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, online, somebody posted a thing that said something about global warming, and then somebody else said, I think it's actually the fact that this entire town is a giant dumpster fire. And I was like, I laughed.
That is not wrong.
I laughed a little too hard about it, but then I was like, you know what? How bad? I feel bad because there's a lot of good people in Portland that are experiencing a lot of problems. I'm like, we probably shouldn't laugh at that. But anyway, so I apologize. I'm not trying to. I just told you what I read online. I thought it was kind of funny.
I enjoyed that.
But I also knew that it was probably somewhat offensive. Federal officials have cited the surge of incidents involving disruptive and violent passengers in resuming self-defense training for airline flight attendants and pilots. So saying, hey, you're going to take a poke at them, you might get a poke right back. So self-defense, that's a good idea, honestly.
That's a very good idea.
Especially with all the stories we've been reading lately.
More and more. And McDonald's employees should do this.
Probably. Everybody should just calm down, please. Your scoop of the day, brought to you by PureCanna.com, promo code radio.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with Stephen Davis. He is a music journalist and perhaps America's best-known rock biographer. He's gotten a bunch of amazing books from bands that we've all heard of, and he's got a new one that's out right now. Mr. Davis, how you doing, sir?
John, I'm doing real good. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Please tell me now. Your newest book just came out, and it's about the band Duran Duran. This is kind of a fun book, isn't it?
Well, it's fun because A, they're a great live band, and B, they just have great songs. And they've been around for 40 years. In fact, one of my daughters just told me that this is the 40th anniversary, June 29th, 1981, of the first Duran tour in England. So
wow. So this is kind of a big week for them. That's pretty cool.
It is a kind of a big week, and there's all sorts of important astrological implications in this, and then hopefully there are good omens for this book. Please tell me now.
And you've done really well with your rock biographies in the past, many of them becoming #1 best-selling books. How do you pick the next band when you're going, okay, next is Duran Duran? How does that even happen?
Well, Duran Duran started, as I said, 40 years ago on the road. And by 1985, they all hated each other, and they broke up. after headlining the legendary Live Aid concert in Philadelphia in July of 85, which is 36 years ago. And they didn't play together for 18 years. And then somewhere around 2000, 2003 or 2004, they were all broke. So they decided that they had to get back together, and they started rehearsing. And they called me because I had written a book with Aerosmith called Walk This Way, which is a kind of a, just a band biography of all the guys just talking. And they wanted something like that. They wanted a Duran Duran biography. But it didn't work out. But I did go to England. I did all these really, really good interviews with them. They were very interested in talking about themselves. But that particular book never worked out. We could never really get together on a deal. Another 15 years go by, and I found these tapes that I had recorded in London in 2004 with Duran Duran, and I started listening to them, and I realized they were telling me these great stories of how this band started and how it finished and how it started up again. And it was just full of interesting facts about the 80s and the 90s and, whatever came next. Because Duran Duran is still going on. They have a new record out. They have an album coming out in the fall, which reminds me that there's an old saying in show business that it's not nostalgia if you never stop. So that's how this book came together. It was just exclusive interviews and then talking to a lot of other people who were connected to the band and also to their fans. They have the most devoted fan network that I've ever come across. Very loyal, fiercely loyal, and they're actually were the most interesting people to talk to of all. They call themselves Duranis.
Ah.
They have websites and fan forums, and it's very interesting worldwide Duran kind of network.
That's really cool. And I love the fact that they were persistent. They had a song called Hungry Like the Wolf that they put out, and it didn't do well. And then they put it out again, and it did really well. Then it was on soundtracks, and it's been featured in movies. I think it's just fascinating that, they didn't give up, and now that song is it's known as one of their best songs.
It's one of the most interesting things about Duran Duran in America was that the band started out as a synthesizer band, synth pop in England. But it didn't work in America. It didn't sound good on car radios. So when people were not playing songs like Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf, they decided to completely remix the songs. And what they did was they cut down on the synthesizers. They mixed Andy Taylor's rock and roll guitar way up to the top. And the idea was they wanted Duran Duran to sound like Van Halen on a pickup truck radio in South Dakota. They wanted that kind of hard rock feel, and only when they figured that out was when Duran Duran broke in North America.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for taking the time to chat with us, and thanks for doing what you're doing to not only shine the light on this band, but so many other bands where you get to kind of tell the story behind the story. We've all heard of them, but because of you, we feel like we know them. So thanks for doing that.
Thanks, John. That's appreciated.
Again, Stephendavis, and the book is out right now. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Sweat doesn't stink. You might notice that, when you sweat, you stink, right? That's because your sweat itself is not stinky, but the bacteria on your skin that breaks the sweat down, that's what's causing the odor.
Okay.
So if you ever take a shower and you're warm and you're sweating from the shower, you don't stink. Well, it's because you're clean. It says the sweat on your arms and legs does not smell as much as your armpits because sweat glands in the armpits secrete more protein into a dark and damp environment. The perfect place for bacteria. So there you go. That's kind of yucky.
Now you know.
That whole thing. Yeah. Hey, that's my line, lady. It's today's fun fact. Now you know. Well, Heidi already said it. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline Israelis Israelis? I said it wrong, didn't I? Did I get it right the second time?
Israelis.
Why did that sound so funny coming out of my head? They've started eating a lab-grown chicken. So it's not chicken anymore. They're making a meat-like substance.
Okay.
They're growing it in labs. I don't know how I feel about that. That sounds kind of weird to me.
I don't like that.
But I wonder if I've ever had it and if I would even know, you know? Who knows? I got the link to the story if you want to read all about it.
Sounds like a cancer problem waiting to happen to me, but
I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today. And this is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. What a bizarre story. A guest at Walt Disney World was filmed hopping on and off an attraction over the weekend in pursuit of a cucumber.
what?
The incident took place on the Living with the Land attraction at Epcot Center, described as a gentle boat tour. Disney's experimental greenhouses and agricultural areas. There's footage of a man. It's posted initially to TikTok, but now it's been shared elsewhere. A woman, rather, can be seen jumping off the boat. So it was a man that recorded it, but a woman jumped off the boat, reached for something on one of the vines, and then stumbled and fell and attempted to return back to the vehicle. Guests, by the way, are not permitted to stand up or exit this attraction.
Well, I'm sure you're not. That's
As
just
seen
dangerous.
In the original video and the re-uploaded versions on screen, messages appear to indicate that the woman was attempting to steal a cucumber growing from one of the vines. Viewers are now describing the woman's actions as dangerous and completely inappropriate.
Extremely dangerous.
Representative from Disney not available for comment. So here's the comment that they should have. Don't do that. Please. It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by BetterResultsAdvertising.com. California man accused of swiping a ring-tailed lemur from the San Francisco Zoo and Gardens could spend up to a year behind bars if found guilty of the crime. Corey McGilloway made his initial appearance in federal court for violating the Endangered Species Act. If convicted, he faces up to a year in jail and a $50,000 fine. So he's 31. He's from L.A. He sneaked into the zoo in the Lipman's family lemur forest back in October. I think we talked about this. He allegedly left with one of the zoo's 4 lemurs. He took Mackie, who was reported missing the next morning. A quick investigation uncovered evidence of forced entry into the enclosure, and they started checking around a highly endangered and very special animal that required special care. They offered a $2,100 reward, leading to his safe return. 2 days later, a woman recorded a video of a man who authorities now believe to be McGilloway walking a lemur on a leash.
He just took it for a walk. Nobody's going to notice this.
Yeah, with help of the San Francisco Animal Care and Control, Mackie was recaptured and returned to the zoo, and now he gets to go behind bars for a while from the sounds of it. So, bad idea. But
you can see how that would be tempting.
Oh, probably tempting, but don't do it. So what did we learn on today's program? Don't
do it. Don't do any of it.
Yeah, don't steal animals from the zoo, and don't try to steal things from the rides at Disney. Now you know. Little tip from Uncle John.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. So far, Heidi has got a winning streak. She's won. She's got this correct every single day in July thus far.
And the last 3 days of June.
Hey, we're only talking about July. Let's see if the second day of July you'll get it right. Boy, the pressure.
Probably won't.
Pressure's on now. All right, here we go. Melody Hill, Harmony, Rhode Island. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center?
Melody Hill?
Melody Hill.
I'm going to say that it's a golf course.
And the answer is? It's a golf course! Good job.
Look at that. I am back.
100%. Baby, I'm so proud of you right now.
Yeah.
I am proud to call you my wife and my...
Aren't you usually?
No, most of the time, usually not.
Wow. If I would have known that's all it took, I think I've been trying too hard.
No, I'm usually pretty proud. That's how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by Time4Rehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Interesting story here from Japan. They're proposing a 4-day work week to improve work-life balance. Japanese government has released an annual economic policy guideline, which includes recommendations that companies permit their staff to opt to work 4 days a week instead of 5.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah, government plans to encourage firms to let their employees choose to work 4 days instead of 5 days, aiming to improve the balance between work and life for people who have family care responsibilities or need more time off to acquire some new skills. They say during the pandemic, they came up with this idea of a 4-day work week because it just said it made a lot more sense because most people were working from home anyway. Mm-hmm. So government leaders in Japan are hoping to convince management that flexible work hours and working remotely and growing interconnectedness with a host of different developments could actually be a beneficial thing, even after everything's done with the pandemic. They're saying, hey, we could keep this. So here's the thing I want to mention. I've got a link to the story. If you want to read all of the details, by the way, you can find them. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Here's what I want to mention. I know people who've been doing this for a long, long time. They'll do 4 10-hour days instead of 5 8-hour days or whatever it is. And the folks that I know that have been doing that absolutely love it. So I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same there, how that's going to work, but I don't know. What do you think, Heidi? Do you think you'd like that? Or do you
I would love a shorter work week. Absolutely.
You don't like working 7 days a week?
I love my job, but I would not be opposed to
it'd be kind of cool. I think it would be really
a 4-day work week. That would be fantastic. We should implement that. We should talk to the powers that be and make that happen.
Probably not going to happen. But here's the good news. We get to keep the job.
That is true. That is good news.
That is good news. I've got a link to that story, by the way, if you want to read it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday.